The most emotional home run ever hit Mike Piazza in the 9/11 game. Imagine a city that has forgotten how to cheer. A ballpark that sounds more like a church than a stadium. And one swing that helped an entire city remember how to breathe again. Tonight we are going back to September 21, 2001. New York Mets vs. Atlanta Braves at Shea Stadium. Baseball's first game back in New York after 9/11. And in the middle of all that grief and all that silence, Mike Piazza hit a home run that some still call the most emotional swing in baseball history. Stay with me as we walk through the build-up, the moment, and why that one home run still hits people right in the chest more than 20 years later. Hey, it is Coach Whiz here, with another deep baseball story. Around here, we do more than talk about stats and box scores. We tell the stories behind the game, the moments that shaped players, cities, and sometimes whole generations of fans. If you enjoy baseball history, father and son moments, and the kind of stories that give you chills, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you do not miss the next one. Now, let us go back to a very heavy September in New York. Chapter 1. A City in Shock. The date on the calendar is September 21, 2001. 10 days earlier, the world watched the Twin Towers fall. New York City is raw. Every siren still feels like an alarm. Every airplane overhead pulls your eyes to the sky. Baseball had stopped. It felt wrong to play a game while families were still searching, firefighters were still working, and the city was still in shock. But there is another side to grief. At some point, you need to try to feel normal again. You need something familiar. You need a reason to sit next to strangers and feel like you are on the same team. That is what this game was trying to be. Not a distraction from what happened, more like a small step toward healing. Chapter 2. Shea Stadium becomes a sanctuary. Shea Stadium that night did not feel like a typical Friday game. Security was tight. Fans lined up early. Many wore Mets jerseys over NYPD and FDNY shirts. Some carried photos of loved ones. Others just carried flags. Before the game, you see the players standing on the field with first responders and families of victims. You hear the national anthem in a way that feels different. It is not just a song at a sporting event. You can see players fighting back tears. You see fans who cannot fight them back at all. The camera finds Mike Piazza during the ceremony. He is usually a calm presence. That night, his face tells you he knows this is bigger than baseball. He's not just the Mets catcher. He is one of the people New York is looking to for some kind of hope. Chapter 3. A game that did not feel like a game. When the game finally starts, it feels almost quiet. Mets versus Braves. Division rivals. Normally a loud, hostile crowd. Tonight, every pitch carries this strange mix of tension and gratitude. The Braves take the lead. The Mets are chasing. But honestly, for most of the night, the scoreboard is not the main story. You see people in the stands wearing red, white, and blue. You see fans holding hands during the 7th inning stretch. You see police officers and firefighters getting standing ovations just for walking through the concourse. By the time the late innings arrive, the game is close. New York is down 2-1. It is the bottom of the 8th inning. The Braves bring in reliever Steve Carsey, and walking to the plate is Mike Piazza. Chapter 4. The Walk to the Box. Watch that walk. Piazza steps out of the dugout, bat in hand, and you can feel the noise start to build. He is not thinking about being a hero. Years later, he would say he just wanted to help the team win a ball game. But deep down, every person in that stadium is hoping for something more than a base hit. They want a moment, something to carry them, something to talk about that is not sirens and smoke and headlines. Piazza digs in, Carsey toes the rubber. And suddenly, the whole city seems to be holding its breath with them. Chapter 5. One swing. First pitches come in. Piazza tracks the ball, gets his timing, and you sense he is starting to lock in. Then it happens. Carsey delivers a fastball that drifts just a little toward the middle of the plate. Piazza's swing is pure muscle memory. Level, powerful, balanced. The crack of the bat cuts through the stadium. You do not even need to see the ball yet. You can hear it. The camera follows the ball as it takes off toward deep center field. And for one heartbeat, everyone in that park is frozen. Eyes in the air, mouths open. No sound. Then the ball clears the wall. Shea Stadium explodes. People are screaming, crying, hugging strangers. Flags are waving. Players are punching the air. And Piazza is rounding the bases, with his head slightly down, like he knows this is not about him. It is a 2-run shot. Mets take the lead 3-2. But the numbers do not tell you what just happened. This is not just a go-ahead home run. It is a deep breath that an entire city needed to take. Chapter 6. The roar that said, "We are still here." Listen to the crowd after that ball lands. It is not the usual roar for a late-inning bomb. It sounds like relief. It sounds like people letting out 10 days of fear and sadness in one long shout. You see first responders in the stands with tears rolling down their faces. You see grown men who probably told themselves on the way to the park that they were going to stay composed. Now they are jumping up and down like little kids. Piazza reaches home plate, greeted by his teammates. For a second, he looks up into the stands, and you can see it on his face. He knows his home run will follow him for the rest of his life. Fans would later say that for just a few minutes, they forgot to be afraid. That is the power of a game that looks small on paper and feels huge in the heart. The Mets hold the lead and win the game. But what people remember is not the final score. They remember that swing and that sound. Chapter 7. Why this home run still matters. So why does this home run still give people chills years later? It did not win a World Series. It did not break a record. It did something harder. It helped people feel human again. Sports cannot fix tragedy. No player, no coach, no game can erase loss. But on certain nights, in certain parks, a game can give people just enough strength to face tomorrow. This home run reminded New York that joy was not gone forever. That it was still okay to cheer. Still okay to high-five a stranger. Still okay to feel hope. For kids who watched that night with their parents, that moment became part of their story. For firefighters and police officers in the stands, it became a memory wrapped up with the hardest days of their lives. That is why many people still call it the most emotional home run ever hit. Chapter 8. The lesson for players and parents. If you are a young player watching this, understand something. Baseball is bigger than your batting average. You never know who is watching you. You never know how your effort, your attitude, your heart might give someone else a little strength. If you are a parent, remember nights like this, when you are driving to practice or sitting in the cold watching another doubleheader. You are not just raising an athlete. You are shaping a human being who may one day be the one who lifts someone else up, on a field or off it. Mike Piazza did not walk to the plate that night expecting to heal a city. He just did his job, with all the preparation and courage that came before it. Sometimes, that is all it takes. If this story moved you, let me know in the comments. Where were you when you first saw or heard about this home run? Or what is the most emotional baseball moment you have ever experienced? Hit like if this brought back a memory. Subscribe for more deep baseball stories like this one, and share this video with another baseball fan who needs a reminder of why this game matters. I am Coach Whiz, and I will see you in the next story.